All right, so let's stretch. If you ever want to know a good way to check your pits, and I'll tell you this, you know, I call it the dab. I call it the dab smell. You basically just go, there you go, and then you just, you know, you do the other pit. There you go. You want to go to the whip? There you go. All right, so let's get into some stuff, shall we? Alright, so I wanted to make this video for you guys because, I don't know, I want to share a little bit more about myself. Obviously, you can tell I'm wearing the Star Wars The Force Awakens shirt, even though I've wore those in like my last 2 reviews. I love movies. I've always loved movies. I've always loved movies since I was a little kid. My mom told me this story, she always tells me this story about how whenever I was a little kid, she came home and she had a Blockbuster bag. It was not a DVD in it or anything, but I was like, DVD, DVD, and immediately she knew from that very moment that I was going to be obsessed with movies for the rest of my life. But regardless of that, let's just take a memory lane trip through my childhood. I grew up living in I grew up in a nice household, and my mom always showed me movies. She always showed me Star Wars. I remember specifically, it's a Walmart that's torn down now, but I remember specifically buying the box set of the original trilogy, special edition sadly, but I remember we bought this box set, and I remember walking out of that Walmart being, what is that? Like, I remember confused. And then immediately when we got home, watched Star Wars, I was in love with that. Then, over the years, my mom introduced me to films like the Terminator trilogy. I got Terminator 1, Terminator 2, Judgment Day, and T3, Rise of Machines. Ugh, I am running on very little sleep. But regardless of that, and then my dad, he always got me into Adam Sandler movies, and he also got me into these, Back to the Future. Also, my mom did those too. But the thing with those kind of movies is they really did bring me to a sense of realism to what movies actually are. I love movies. I have always just cherished movies in regardless, and it wasn't until maybe my 7th grade year of middle school I started getting into reviews. I started watching reviewers like Chris Stuckman, Schmoes Know, Jeremy Johns, and then later down the road I got into, like, you know, Collider Movie Talk and stuff like that. But regardless of that, I grew a passion for movies because I realized that there's more to movies than just an actual, hey, that's a moving picture. But no, it's an experience that you really you don't get anywhere else. The movie theater experience. And honestly, that's the best thing I can get. And it brought me to films like Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz. It brought me films like The Hateful Eight. And whenever things like that, and not to mention The Breakfast Club, I did not see The Breakfast Club until, I mean, I saw it when I was 7, but whenever I grew up, I didn't really appreciate it until I started watching those reviews. And back to The Hateful Eight. The Hateful Eight is one of my favorite movies of 2015 because it was so late in the year, but still, I saw this film. Me and my sister, she bought me these tickets, these 70mm showing tickets. It was like a 3:15 showing. It was 3 hours and 7 minutes long. I will never forget the time. And she took me to the Edwards Greenway, and she took me there, and we saw Hateful Eight in 70mm film. And I will never forget that experience because it was a packed house, and everyone was so happy, so excited, because it was just Quentin Tarantino at his best in a lot of the ways of what you're expecting. And I'll never forget other things, like this beauty right here. I went to the 7 p.m. showing of Guardians of the Galaxy, opening night, July 31st of 2014, and if you look at the bottom, you'll see that we have the tickets. This poster is framed. The poster costs about $200. My mom got this for me because it was a great time for our family. It was a great time just enjoying a good film and having a blast. And as you notice, my background is always going to be just posters stuff. A lot of these posters I get from screenings or I get from movie theaters. The Tourist I got from one of my best friends. I love movies. I love movies with a passion, and I will always try to share that with you because I've watched so many crap movies. I've watched so many good movies. You have to keep that in mind. Every movie that's in cinema right now I have seen except Finding Dory. I'm going to see Finding Dory. But ass, I'm seeing Finding Dory. But I had to power through Alice Through the Looking Glass. God, that movie was awful. I had to power through some of these horrible, horrible releases of this year. Norm of the North. Oh my God. Whew. No. Rob Schneider as a polar bear. That sounds like a bad South Park sketch. Good God. But what I love about movies is whenever they're right and they're really good. Like, I watched, my first screening ever was Me and Earl and the Dying Girl, and I know that wasn't too long ago. That was about a year ago. A year ago last Saturday, actually. I remember watching that movie in utter amazement because I didn't know that a teenage movie could be this great. I didn't know everything like this could be just so phenomenal. I can't even bring it. It brings tears to my eyes whenever I think about just movies in general, because whenever I think about these sad movies and I think about these good movies, I think about how great my life has been because of movies. And I grew up with the Harry Potter, all 8 films. I saw every single one of them in theaters. Even whenever I was a baby, my mom took me to go see them. I grew up with Predator. I grew up with Alien. I grew up with all those films. I grew up with the Bourne franchise, for God's sakes, and I'm not just looking over there just because my Blu-rays are right there, but other films like Drive, or the Die Hard franchise, everything. Like, Drive is one of those films where that really got me into artistic filmmaking. Nicholas Winding Refn, he has a new film, The Neon Demon. I am so excited. I'm so pumped for that movie. It's a movie about the fashion industry, and I am pumped for that. I am a straight man. I am pumped for a dark movie about the fashion industry. Oh yeah, I'm pumped for that one. I love Only God Forgives. I love Drive. I think those two are they're immaculate filmmaking. And those are big words that, to be honest, I don't even know the whole understanding. But I know they're good. And I just want to use big words sometimes. But other films like Ant-Man, I love the Marvel movies. I love the DC movies. Even though Batman v Superman may not have been as good as we were hoping, I still enjoyed it thoroughly. Because whenever I go to a movie, and you'll see that I always have a positive energy whenever I go see a movie. I realize Now You See Me Too gets muddled. I realize Central Intelligence story is shit. But I love to laugh. I love to feel the feeling of being in a movie theater and just having fun. That is what is really important about just going to the movies. When you have a good time and whenever you laugh and whenever you cry and whenever you experience emotions that you just don't get anywhere else, that's real. It's not artificial, it's real. That's what I love about the filmmaking. That's what I love about movies. That's why I want to be a director someday. That's why I maybe want to pursue this movie reviewing. I want to do this because this is what I want to do. Something in film, something there. I don't want a desk job. I want to be behind a camera lens all the time. Thank you guys for watching this video. Remember, I'm crazy enough to get a $200 Guardians of the Galaxy poster framed. Good God, see? Thank you guys for watching this video. Comment down below, let me know, tell me about some of your favorite movies from your childhood. Enjoy, remember, stay classy, muchachos.